we just wanted to give everybody the opportunity to see the new global conference that's actually being rolled into our platform, Callbridge. We have had Callbridge as a video and web solution for years now. So we've, we're not new to this. This isn't a beta. This isn't a test. This is actually out there, and people are using it. Quite a few people are using it. So we thought it was a really good time to end date the global conference platform. It is aging technology. There is hardware, software that we can't do any improvements on anymore. We've reached the end of the life cycle for it. So we want to move you over to a better platform. That's really the motivation for this. So let's see. I'm going to start with the document that we've been sending with our email communications. And again, please feel free to ask questions as we go along. That's completely fine. But let's start talking about what is different with Callbridge. Specifically, not just that we've got video and web and chat and all of this stuff. Yes, that's different. We'll go over that. But how are things going to change between what you're doing now with Global Conference and what you will be doing as Callbridge? And the answer, fortunately, is not too much. And by the way, if you want to make this a little bit bigger, on the right-hand side, there's a toolbar, and there's a full screen icon. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the sixth one, fifth or sixth from the bottom. Just click on that and make it a little bit bigger. That might be helpful to you. We have this as a support article for you. So don't worry if you don't catch it here. It's up and available to you at any time. So what's different? The biggest thing, I think, is the fact that we now have the moderator pin that replaces a couple of different codes that you might be used to using in Global Conference. You might recall in Global Conference, you have the option to either use a subscriber pin to start the call. That's if you're using the toll-free or the hosted service on Global Conference. You've got to enter that 4-digit pin in order to start the call. No longer. You have a moderator pin that you will be using. Then you also had what we called an organizer code, and it was this god-awful 10-digit long code that nobody ever remembered because it was way too long. And so that is also no longer a part of it. We just have the moderator pin, and that moderator pin serves to get you into the call with all the moderator privileges. So the ability to, and again, this is all just via phone. We're not even talking about the web yet. This moderator pin is to be used when you're dialing in. You can mute, unmute, start recording, all with the moderator pin. It also, if you want to ensure that people are waiting in a room before you start the call, that's a setting now that you have access to, which is great. You really didn't have access to that setting on Global Conference. We had to make that configuration on the back end, but now you can change it at will in your user dashboard. But the moderator pin is what allows you to start the call once the call begins. So your access code, which in 99.9% of the time we were able to move your access codes into Callbridge, so you don't even have to change that, with very, very few exceptions, and we'll let you know if we had to change it. And then you'll have a new moderator pin as well to use. If you don't want to use that moderator pin, no problem. You don't have to. I know on Global Conference, you had the ability, at least on the toll conferencing, the participant pay conferencing, to have no pin at all, just the code. And the first person hears hold music, and the second person it joins. You could still have that experience on Callbridge. That's a setting. I'll show you where that is in the user dashboard, but that would be the biggest change. We'll show you where to see your moderator pin in your dashboard when you log in. So we'll go over that, no worries. But I just wanted to point that out, since the number one concern might be, if I've got a call scheduled, how am I going to hold them? Is anything going to change? And I think that moderator pin is the biggest point of differentiation in that process. So we went over this, the subscriber pin, etc. Okay, I guess we're jumping around here, but billing. I know a lot of people might have some questions about that. We're going to try to make this as seamless for you as possible. I think the way we bill on Callbridge is it's much more logical. We've got a first to the 30th or 31st end of the month, true month billing cycle. So we will start everybody with their first full Callbridge bill. That will be December 1st, okay? And in the meantime, if you just got billed on Global Conference, or if you didn't at all, we're going to work that all out. So if for some reason you have a plan and you were charged yesterday for a full month, don't worry, we're going to go through and apply that credit to Callbridge so that you're not going to pay twice. We'll make sure that all works out. So don't, billing is something we're going to take care of. Of course, if you run into any issues or have questions, you can contact me directly. I've been here for a long time. I'm very familiar with Global Conference billing, and we can get it fixed very quickly. A couple of the other items, I'm going to speak to them quickly, but then we will show you as well, because it's much more powerful to see it than to just explain it. You won't be logging into a global website anymore. So before you were at www.globalconference.com, cool thing about Callbridge is it is very customizable. So you're going to have your own unique subdomain. What that means is if you were ABC Construction on Global Conference, you're going to have a domain like abcconstruction.callbridge.com. And that will be where you log in. No other accounts will log in. They're only you. And because of that, you get to brand it. So you can upload logo, icon, colors. You can do all of that with Callbridge. When you do log in, it's got a new look and feel. It's not going to look anything like your Global Conference dashboard, but it is intuitive. At least I think so. So we'll show you that as well. We'll show you the admin portal, because as an admin, you're going to have a lot more feature functionality, and the user portal. So another big difference in Callbridge is that you now have ability to use the scheduler inside of the portal. So with Global Conference, as you know, everything was on demand. You had a dedicated number and code. You could host calls anytime. You can still do that. Don't worry. If you like it, it doesn't have to change. But you also have the ability to do a full scheduled conference from the dashboard. You'll be able to check the date and the time, your attendee list, send out invitations, get RSVPs. It is optional, but it is there for you if you want to. Obviously, you also have the ability to join online. So if you don't want to pick up your phone and dial in anymore, no problem. We've got apps. We've got browsers. So you can use Chrome, you can use Firefox, you can use Safari, but we also have mobile apps. So we've got desktop apps as well. So we're giving you a lot of different ways to join the call. Global Conference, we did expire recordings on Callbridge. We've got a lot more you can do with recording. We'll touch on that. So they no longer expire. You can have recordings that last forever, and you can easily share them with people. So it's a really nice feature. I'll show you the waiting room and the chimes when we get into the user dashboard. It's much more meaningful if we take a look at it. So I think that's the end of that document. So good. Let's go right into the dashboard itself. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my screen. And again, everything we're doing here, our video, screen sharing, you're going to be able to do with your Global Conference Callbridge account. You don't have to, but it's there for you if you want it. Okay, so sharing my screen, I want to show you a couple different ways you're going to log in. So if you are, if this is what you're used to logging into, right? Globalconference.com. If you haven't done any branding into your account, what your account will look like is, I should probably log out here, is this. So when you go to log in, it's going to look like this. It's going to have that Global Conference branding. At the top, you're going to see your custom subdomain, and we will give you that information so you know exactly where you're logging in. But you can see here, this was my old Global Conference house account, GCP-Kara. Now it's gcp-kara.callbridge.com. And I click on this, and then I'm going to go ahead and log in. And when I do, I will be right into my own user level dashboard. Okay, so you've got users and you've got admins. And of course, I'm an admin in my account, and I think most of you are also admins. And we'll show you what that looks like. But this is where all of the good stuff happens here, right? Everything that you can do with conference calls, you can control and see right under your user dashboard. You don't have to log in to hold a call. So if you if you like what you're doing, you just want to use the dial-in, no problem. There's no requirement that you log in to do anything, but you can. So you could start a call here and join via your computer. Probably don't want to start a call, but this is what it looks like when you do. You can schedule a call. And this is what I was talking about with the scheduler. We have just a wizard. It's super easy to walk through. All the things you'd want in a wizard: date, time. You can set up a recurring call. You can check off if you wanted to automatically record. That's a great feature on Callbridge. I know on Global Conference you had to enable the recording via *9. You can set calls to automatically record, and you can even have that as your default if you want to. You'll have a full address book, so you can upload a bunch of, I don't have any here, it's a new account, but you can upload contacts one by one. You could do that as you're going through like I can add Sarah if I wanted to. You can populate your address book beforehand or as you're doing the scheduler, that's up to you. You will have, this is definitely worth mentioning, you're going to have access to a lot of dial-in numbers. We will give you the same dial-in numbers you've always been using, so don't worry about that. But in addition, you have access to a lot of other international and even local Callbridge numbers that we've loaded in. So specifically, you'll notice all these different local numbers for the US. Those are all available. They're all integrated so that you can choose any of these numbers, and anyone else can dial any one of these numbers with the same code and get into the same call. So your reach just got a lot bigger. We've got a bunch for Canada. You can just see it's a huge selection. So in the schedule, you can go through and choose multiple numbers and then schedule that call right from there. We are integrated into the major calendaring platforms. So this Sarah will get in her Google Calendar, and she can accept or RSVP right from there. Outlook, they'll get that for as well and be able to have it right in their calendar. So that's a really nice feature to have. You'll be able to see all of your upcoming conferences in your dashboard as well. And if you had any conferences in the past, they would be back here. You could see as by using that button. Okay, let me talk a little bit about the settings. So there were precious few settings that you could enable in Global Conference. We've got quite a few here, and we're always adding new ones. You can upload a picture, so that's nice. You'll be able to have your picture associated with your name if you're joining online. You can add a phone number that will allow you to get SMS reminders about your calls. So you just populate that there and you'll get texts on your phone for upcoming calls, things like that. We have custom hold music. So I don't think anybody was able to enjoy the lovely selection I had in this webinar because I was on first, but we do have quite a robust selection for you to choose if you want. You could even upload your own custom music. If you've been on Global Conference, you're probably really sick of those songs after 5-10 years. So good news, you've got a lot more to choose from here. The waiting room, this is important. The default in the waiting room is to be off. So what that means is once you're migrated over, anybody can start a call using just an access code. Okay, so with the waiting room off, the first person to call in with the code will hear hold music, the second person will connect, and the call will go live. No need for a moderator. If you decide you want to ensure that a moderator is there to start it, you just turn that on. And now the requirement is that you join with your moderator PIN in order to start a call. So that's selectable on a per call basis. You can change it at any time. The chimes and name announce feature was also something that you could sort of turn on and off in Global Conference. You had to do it on a per call basis, not as an overall account level setting. We had to do that on the back end. Here, that's up to you. You can turn on, turn off at will. Do you want to hear the name? Do you not want to hear the name? You can absolutely configure that however you like it right in your settings. Some other important ones. We have a full security section here. So two things that we're giving to you in order to ensure that your calls are very secure. You can turn on a security code that allows you to create it's up to 9 digits code that people need to enter in addition to the access code that you've given them. So anything you want, just don't forget that you've turned it on because they will be asked for it. And then we also give you the ability to join or to create a one-time access code. So as you know, with Global Conference, you'll still have your dial-in number, you'll still have your access code, but you'll also be able to create calls that have a one-time code. Well, this is the default setting. So this would give you a new code for every single call. You can also schedule a call with a one-time access code. And what that means is the code is good for that date and time only. It will not be good an hour after the call or the next day. It will be expired, which sometimes is ideal for those calls that you don't want to have anybody kind of fall into if they're joining with your static code. Recording, I mentioned, you have the ability to set it as a default. If you want to record all of your calls, you just come into your settings and check it off here. You can choose to record just the audio or the online meeting as well. We also, and this is a really cool feature, we have what we call Q. That's our transcription bot. It's our AI part of the meeting solution. So Q will come in and, as we're doing now, when it's being recorded, if you want it to, it will create a transcription of the call that will be automatically transcribed, and the entire document you can find right in your dashboard after the call is done, along with the recording. So it's great if it's a notes feature is what it is. I use it all the time in my meetings with like the development team when I don't understand what they're saying and I have to go back and reread it and listen to things again. I use this all the time, so it's a great feature, and you can turn it on as a one-time feature on your calls, or you can turn it on as a preset. You also, and I don't know if you're going to use this or not, but live streaming. So if you've got a YouTube account and you want to reach thousands of people, all you need to do is plug a few pieces of information here, and you can stream out, connect right to YouTube. It's not the same as a webinar because it's a different platform. So it's really nice if you want to reach a large audience, and it's just like a presentation, or maybe it's a marketing presentation, maybe it's a product presentation, something like that. This is a great way to reach a lot of people. So that's something that you have access to as well. And I guess this would be helpful if you do hold a lot of large calls or calls where you're doing presentations. You can choose to preset your muting features. So if you never ever want to have anybody be able to talk, you can set it to start in presentation mode, and that way you're the only one with an open line. Most people leave it in conversation mode so that all lines are open, and then you can change it during the call. So those are things that I urge you, once you've got access to this, go in, set your settings up as you like, take a good look at them, and get familiar with them, and it'll make your experience that much better. In this section, we've got pretty important things. First and foremost, we have a help section. The people that have been helping you on Global Conference are still the team behind Callbridge as well. So they will not only be familiar with Global Conference, they will be able to help you, knowing that you're a customer there and now you just have your Callbridge account. So if you click on that, you'll go to our support page, and you'll have a very several ways of getting a hold of our team. So you can call them. We're there, I think 6 a.m. Pacific to 7 p.m. Pacific. So that's pretty late on the East Coast. You can send a ticket in. We turn those around very quickly. And then we also have a huge knowledge base. Sarah is the one who maintains this, and she does it very well. So we have up-to-date articles and we have videos for you. So we've got an entire Callbridge channel with video tutorials. I know one of the questions was, how can I get information for my users? Right here, this page is great. You can give them access to it. They can type in a term and pull up anything they want to know. And if you're like me, you just want to see something, and that's why we have the videos here. So that's how you would get help. The apps are here as well. So you can go in and if you don't want to use a browser, you can download the desktop apps. You can go into the Google Play Store or the iPhone, or sorry, the Apple Store, the iPhone Store, the Apple Store, and you can download those apps on your phone if you want to use it there. And your address book, and then also this is where your recordings are going to be stored. I haven't done any recordings, so you won't see them here. I could probably show you what they look like with my other accounts. But the other important thing that I just want to quickly show you is the administrator console, because as I mentioned, I think most of you are admins, and it does look different. And it is just, it's light years ahead of Global Conference. First and foremost, you've got a full reports and invoices section. So you now have the ability to pull up meeting summaries, to go into those meeting summaries and look at the actual CDRs, who joined, how long, from what number. All of that information is right there. You can look at your transactions. So, you know, your invoices that you get from us, payments, etc. All of these can be, the invoices can be saved to PDF. I'm going to have a huge cheering section at some point on one of these webinars of people who've been asking us for PDFs for ages, and we just didn't have it in Global Conference. Here you can, you'll be able to view your invoice and save it to a PDF. So that's huge. And you can export CSV. So if you need to export your summaries, you can do that as well. I think the other important thing to point out are your users. So in Global Conference, you as the administrator had the ability to create multiple access codes or conference lines under your account, as did every user. Now, you can create those one-time access codes, but you only have one access code that is static and never changes. So one access code to one user, that's the ratio. This code belongs to me, this one belongs to Sarah, this one belongs to the legal team, and so on. If you had 10, 15, 20 codes associated with your Global Conference account, we've duplicated them all over here. The difference is you're going to see them as users. We've kept the names, so you'll see them there and you'll see the codes you had, but now they will each kind of function as their own user account. We've given them fake email addresses because we don't, you know, they belong to you. So we can go through that, but I think the best thing to do is just log into your account and look at your codes. They're still there, they still work. They just kind of look a little bit different than they did before, but you can still see that all of the information associated with them there. If you pay by card, credit card automatically, don't worry about it. We're working with the payment processor to import all that information over. If we run into any issues, we'll let you know. If you pay net billing, that won't change either. You might just see a new remit to address on your invoice. So just please, you know, be cognizant of that. Oh, and the design tab. I think that's the one thing I want to show you. The Global Conference is what we call the highest level of branding. So that's going to flow through for anybody who doesn't want to brand it, but I say, why not? Put your logo in. It's so easy. You just select your file. There's some specifications. It just has to be bigger than 96 by 96. Same with your icon. We've got 5 themes for you to choose from. Some have rounded boxes, some are a little more modern, but you can decide and choose and change if you want to. And you can also set your colors. So you just type in your RGB values here and save everything. This is in real time. So if you change your design 5 times a day, you'd have 5 different looking platforms. I've kept a couple of these branded ones here to show you. So here, conference customers, they've got a different look and feel than this customer does, and they've got a different look and feel than this customer does. So you can see that it's to me, it looks like a whole different platform once you put the branding in, and that's something that only admins have access to. But it's again, it's really easy to use, and I highly suggest you take advantage of it. Okay, so I think that's mostly what I wanted to cover in terms of the account itself. And you know, we had some questions about video. How do I use video? How do I use screen sharing? I'm just going to turn that off for a second. That may be like the how do I enable video? That might be something that is better served for us to do on either a one-on-one demo or take a look at some of those video calls. If I try to do a full training on it, it's probably going to take up a lot of time. But just suffice it to say that it's really easy. It's a point and click thing. You just jump in. Most of you have done it now. You log into the call and you can turn on your camera. If you've got a camera, you click on share to share your screen, and you chat in the chat box. You now have the ability to pass along this, what we call the online meeting room URL, which is just that iotum.callbridge.com thing you clicked on to get into the meeting, and then everybody that you want to be in the call can be in the call, and turn on video if you wanted to. This is where I'm going to stop and ask Sarah if I missed anything as I'm going through. Unmute you. Did you notice?
I don't think so. Yeah, just echoing, if you want to learn more about video and screen share, we're totally open. We've got a few team members that can do some demos with you. We're happy to do that, to walk you through the platform.
Yep. As a matter of fact, if you go to the Callbridge page, which is just www.callbridge.com, at the top, there's one that says book a demo. You can just go in there. It'll pop up on the team's calendar, and you can schedule at your convenience, and they'll do whatever you want. You can just say, I saw all the branding stuff. Don't tell me about that. I want to learn about video. No problem. We'll do that. We're happy to help you and walk you through it however you like. And I was telling Greg this before we started. We fully consider ourselves a Zoom competitor. So we would love for you to try us out. If you use Zoom, if you use WebEx, if you use GoToMeeting, try this out. It's available. We're not changing the cost. Give it a try, and hopefully you'll like it. Can I take any questions? Does anybody, you can unmute, you can just click your microphone button at the top to unmute yourself. If you have a question, you can chat it. If no one has questions right now, that's totally cool too. We will send you the recording of this webinar, so you have it as a resource if needed. Once we clean it up and get all our little chit chat for it, I'll start it out. We'll send it over to you. You can pass it on to your users, but please do use the support resources. Question about recording. No, actually, recording is included. In fact, if you were paying Global Conference, most people paid a per conference charge or a like some monthly fee. It's not that we don't charge that on Callbridge. It's all included. We haven't. Nope, there's no charge for the transcripts either. That's all included. Yeah, everything that we've shown you, we've included in your subscription. The one thing I will say that is that you need to watch for charges are just some of the international dial-in numbers that we have. So things like, and we have a page dedicated to pricing on those, but like China or Saudi Arabia or anything that's toll-free, there'd be a charge for. So that would be the one thing that you'd want to watch out for. Nothing else is going to come at you on an invoice. We're not here to like load up your invoice with charges. We really just want you to like this product and use it, and hopefully consider us as your video solution. So that was a good question though. Okay, so, thank you. Sarah just sent you the link to the dial-in rates. So please look at that. No, you're not live with it yet. Greg asked that. It will be available November 10th, Sarah?
November 10th.
November 10th. So next Tuesday is when you'll be able to log in and start using it. So
yeah, just,
and I think before then we'll send you a link, right? We'll send their subdomain so they can log in.
Yeah, just keep an eye on your inbox for any emails from us. We'll send you your new login link there. But on the day of the migration, once we've shifted over, if you go to log into your account on the regular platform, you'll find a link there as well to your new account in case you don't get the email for whatever reason.
Okay, well, thank you everybody for showing up, popping in. I hope everything looked good to you. Again, we're here for you. If you have any questions at all, just reach out. We're happy to help. And we look forward to bringing you all into Callbridge next week. Have a wonderful rest of the week, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.